Hi, hello folks. I have Jake Sully and Neytiri Avatar Hot Toy figures. I've had these figures here for a few weeks now. I've been a little bit lazy. I need to work on the diorama, specifically the one that I need to work on within the module case, and I'm going to have a little bit of help using the ENTINA 2S, a 3D filament printer. And Tina reached out to me a while back and they had asked me if I was interested in reviewing and using a 3D filament printer. I told them I never really used one. I am essentially wet behind the ears amateur. This is an entry-level 3D printer. They took a gamble on me, and I gotta say, when I got this, I felt like this would be an overwhelming product to review, only because I don't know anything about 3D printing. I've always heard the stories, the experience, and so forth, and the fact that ENTINA decided to send this product to me to review. I gotta say, in the beginning, I was terrified. I didn't know what I was doing. After having this for about going on 2 weeks, I have fallen down a slippery slope, folks. This being, I believe this retails for about $200 on Amazon. It's considered somewhat of an entry-level 3D printer, but I'm going to tell you, the 3D prints that this thing pumps out, it doesn't seem very entry-level to me. I was very overwhelmingly impressed with the experience using this. I thought it'd be complicated. I thought this thing would pump out a lot of fumes. None of that. Absolutely none of that. It's being advertised as quick and easy to use, and I will defend them. This really is a quick and easy to use product, especially for someone like me that's never used a 3D filament printer ever before. I've always seen the videos. I've heard the tales, but the fact that I now have one, and I'm gonna put the specs on here so you folks can kind of see what the ENTINA 2S 3D printer is, what it provides, and so forth. They provide you QR codes for quick and easy access. The Polo Printer Cloud app it probably took a couple hours, but once you get used to it, it's easy to use. Card slot, plenty of stickers. I'm typically the type of person that I don't like to resort to using the instruction books, but you have to. So I'm kind of jumping in here. I can see the sticker, the tape. It's kind of giving you these points on when to start, how to prep the actual printer. They do provide a roll of they do provide a roll of filament here, kind of like a starter roll here, which, spoiler alert, I ended up going through it. So I was, within a week or so, I ended up just buying a new roll of filament. And I wanted to show you the importance of reading the instructions, because my silliness, I'm like, all right, this is easy. Take the filament and stick it through the hole. And for you veteran 3D printers folks out there, you're kind of looking at me probably cringing because I'm doing this wrong. And this is like, okay, I think I'm doing something wrong. And that's a no-no. Always resort to using the instructions. There's a little plastic cap here that locks the table from moving and going up and down the XYZ. They do include plenty of accessories. They give you a glue stick, which I have not used. I haven't needed to use it. They give you tools. They give you a replacement nozzle head on there to change it. USB adapters for the SD or the TF card on there. Kind of cool. I already have a card adapter for my Mac that I was able to use. A little needle there to clean it. I haven't used it. I've probably done, by this point, because I've had this for about 2 weeks, I've probably done about 10-15 prints already, and I haven't had to use it yet. This thing is a workhorse. For the stuff that I've had it for what I've been using it to print, it's blown me away. It really, really, really has. And I'm sure there's probably better, more expensive 3D printers out there, but this being my very first one, and my entry level into the world of 3D filament printing, I was just gassed out. I was like, this is just friggin' cool. At this point, I'm setting up the instructions. Again, it's very easy. It took a little bit while, but it was very easy. Load the filament, and I feel like at this point I'm doing something wrong, which I know I am. And looking at the instructions, I realized, oh, I'm doing this wrong. But this is cool though, and I wanted to show you that if you're like me, if you're an amateur, you're scared, and you've never entered the world of 3D printing, this machine really does the job. And you can kind of see on there that they actually have the tube, and you feed the filament through the actual tube and into the actual nozzle on there. So I just wanted to show you that it's really important to read the instructions. And it's not like I broke anything. Yes, I put the filament on the top, but I was able to kind of correct it once I looked at the instructions. Other than that, though, I do end up taking the TF card and adding some STL files, or the OBD code on there. The app is very easy to use. Sometimes these overseas apps are a little bit challenging. I found this particular app setup with the whole Wi-Fi QR code very easy to set up. The whole setup probably took me, because I took my time, probably under an hour. I probably could have done it a little bit quicker, but I was a little bit scared. I really was. I'm like, I just wanted to make sure I was doing this right. I also set this up downstairs in the kitchen because at this point, I thought this thing would just smell like burning plastic, and it's not. This thing does not give off any fumes at all. That was something that really kind of shocked me on there. Successfully connected to the Wi-Fi network. Just follow the app instructions on there. Online devices. This is their app, the Polo Print Cloud app that's connected to the Tina2S, and kind of shows you the nozzle temperature and how to move all that. A lot of that stuff is just overwhelming. I just wanted to keep the prints very simple, and as the days go on, I was able to learn structure, how to add support, so forth. But these first early 3D prints, I didn't add the supports onto it. I just wanted to see what it would look like, and it really came out really nice. I would think. Kind of shows you the STL files that are being downloaded on there. Something like about this, I think it was probably about a couple hours to 3D print. Something else too that also caught me, because I had all these stereotypical views about 3D printing. I thought these things were loud. I thought these 3D printers would give off a lot of fumes. I thought they would take up a lot of space. This thing is really small, compact, versatile. I gotta say, this particular unit really squashed a lot of my stereotypical views of 3D printing, and hence why I said earlier in the video, I'm like, oh, I have fallen down the slippery slope, because now I'm going to want something bigger and better down the road. Once I learn how to master this particular unit, and I build a confidence to, okay, I want to build larger pieces. I want to learn about the high definition and so forth. But ultimately, my first project was, and I need to get back to it, is building my AVATAR Hot Toys Diorama set. And I ended up finding a lot of free alien plants, because I wanted to populate my module case with these exotic, weird, alien-type plants that you would encounter in the world of Pandora, where the Avatar beings live and so forth, where Jake Sully and Neytiri would swing around and so forth. And the files were free. I uploaded it to the actual app and just kind of followed the instructions, kind of hit start on there, and then what it does is then it sends the actual file. I guess it downloads it. I don't know if it downloads it from the phone or if it does it from like a cloud network. It is called Polo Print Cloud, so I'm assuming maybe it's being kept at a server, and because the ENTINA printer is now connected to the network, it can then download those files directly that I've kind of saved onto my personal free profile. My second alien plant here, I don't have a specific name for it. I probably could have used supports because I was trying to figure out why the top portion of the plant shifted. And it wasn't a deal breaker. It wasn't something that I needed to throw away because I felt like it was something I can kind of fix. All right, I can use a little bit of resin glue on here. And overall, I'm going to end up painting it and adding some really cool fluorescent colors to it. I'm going to clean it up. I have some clippers and so forth. But I mean, as far as the look and the definition and so forth, I think it's stellar. Being my first print, I thought it was cool. And then I just started printing more of the alien plants. And I got carried away. This is probably within a few days after having the printer, and you can kind of see some of the mistakes. And this is cool though, because then I can learn. I was essentially learning by experience how I can improve some of these prints, and I didn't throw any of these away. My thought process is that it's going to be an alien plant, and I can end up puttying it or painting it and so forth. And after a week of usage, I ended up 3D printing a Buddha planter on here. I just wanted to see how far I can push the ENTINA 2S 3D printer, and I thought this one particularly came out really, really good. I'm like, oh man, this Buddha planter just came out like just rocking. I'm like, this right here is where I knew probably by Christmas I'm gonna want a larger bed 3D printer, because I thought this Buddha, just like, this is badass. Like, I can use this as a gift. I can plant, and especially now with the whole Black Myth Wukong game that I finally finished. The game. I can really go to town, and this is just painting it, adding some color and so forth. I just thought it came out really, really cool. Again, the Buddha here is what told me, oh, Genobi, you're going to want a larger, more industrial 3D printer, because this is the cool stuff that you can do. Especially with my imagination, like if I can come up with something, if I can think of something, and there's people out there that provide these files either for free or for sale, it is definitely a new world for me. I 3D printed this little Pokemon for my kid, but yeah, the Buddha just came out nice. But anyway, let's get back to the Avatar Hot Toys. I haven't been busy, and I was just flabbergasted as to how tall and impressive this Jake Sully Avatar figure. I've seen the photos. The Avatar Hot Toys figure, the fact that it's, 18 inches in height, this is one of those things that photos cannot do justice. This thing is impressively tall. It's just cool. It has that alien look to it. And I'm like, man, this is badass. This is really, really, really nice. And my camera, I feel, doesn't capture that fluorescent blue that Jake Sully's given up. But I did manage to grab Rocket, for you Hot Toy collectors out there, 6.0 collectors, just to kind of see the scale as to what Rocket's height is to Jake Sully. I thought was like, maybe this will help. Because again, you can see the photos. But understanding how tall and how empowering this character is, or this figure, and what Hot Toys did was pretty cool. I ended up getting the deluxe sets for the Avatar Hot Toys, specifically for the USB glow base, because I wanted to build this really cool black light diorama within the module case. And you can kind of see it doesn't look that impressive with lights on. It's kind of like a theme park, when you're like on a roller coaster, let's say Space Mountain, and the lights are turned on and it doesn't look magical, or if you're on a dark ride and the lights are on, it doesn't look magical. That's what this looks like. But I promise you, by the end of the video, this whole diorama setup is going to look badass. And the 3D prints, after I've added a little bit of tender loving care, a little bit of magic, right, painted them, added a little bit of resin glue to give it that moist look to it. Kind of built the props on there. I'm going to do a little bit more. I just thought this stuff just came out fantastic. Especially my little Avatar mushroom plant here, a little rock gourd type deal situation here with vines. And this little guy here with that's the one that where the print was separated. I ended up just gluing it, fixing it, painting it, add a little primer. And then my very first print came out really, really nice. This all of these plants just came out rocking. I added a little bit of glow in the dark powder to the resin. And again, this is using the ENTINA 2S 3D printer, and I thank these folks for providing this printer for me that I can kind of play and share with you guys, because I'm in so much trouble. I really am. These props that I now get to incorporate into my AVATAR diorama are just gonna pop, and you can kind of see. And yes, you're not alone if you're getting that ET vibe from Universal Studios, where you're on the bikes and you travel to this planet. I kind of got that weird feeling too. I built a resin glow pool with some cob LEDs to kind of make it look like the water is glowing. That is it looks like water, but it is a pool of resin with cob LEDs. The plants under black light, they just pop. The base that came with Jake Sully gives you a couple options as far as glow effect. You can have the light static, or you can have it glow back and forth. You can kind of see as I'm pulling away from the camera from this particular shot, like when the lights are turned off, this diorama is it's magical. And it's not really complete yet, because I want more vines. I want more of that forest feel to it. And I haven't unboxed his girl yet, Neytiri, because I want to print more. I want to be able to use more. I want to be able to kind of create foliage here to create that sense of depth. So this diorama is not finished, but it did prove that using the 3D printer that ENTINA provided was able to help me build the diorama that I wanted. Special thanks to the ENTINA again for providing this printer. This was it was very generous of them, and hopefully I'll do another update with the diorama setup with the world of Pandora. Like, subscribe, folks. Thank you so much.